top of the morning to you.
Good morning, should we?
I haven't got any audio.
I've got it for what? Insta?
That's all right. Should be right, mate. Tommy Kangaroo down sport.
All right, I'll do it.
What's happening?
Welcome to Morning Minutes. Myself, Michael Bergio, and Mark Novak. And this morning, we're going to be talking about basically getting gazumped, aka missing out on the property, aka being gazumped. I find whenever a buyer misses out on a property, they sort of crack the shits, and who do they blame? And a lot of the time, rightfully so. So this morning, we're going to be talking about how you can avoid it, read the signs, what you could do to minimize that from happening, and also if it does happen, what to do. So, Mark, let's sort of take it from the top.
Let's have a chin wag. I'm just trying to sync up with you with some audio. Sorry about that.
Hang on, Facebook should still be going, but
yeah, look, it's a big one, isn't it, Burge?
Adding you back on Insta. You've dropped out. Mark, you there?
Yep. How are you?
All good. That's all right. You've joined at the right time. I just said take it away. Take it from the top. Missing out on a property. What can you do? Where does it start? Does it start when you see the property? Does it start when you does it start how you make the offer? Let's take it right back. Is that where it starts? Know what? How you make an offer? Verbal, written, on a contract? What do you reckon?
Look, I do think setting the tone's important. It's probably not the most critical point. I think when you're buying a property, as to are you going to miss out on it because of the way you made the offer. But I think it's probably even more critical once you've had the offer accepted, how you act from that point. But I do believe, yes, when you move sort of nice and solidly on your offer making, it just shows you sort of a no muck around person. And I think the agent will be probably talking straight with you a little bit more and not trying to fluff around the edges. So they'll probably be a bit raw. But it's super important because if you're going to, when you're buying a property, you've got so much emotion invested in most parts. People aren't just investors sort of thing and callous. They're still emotionally in it. So I think it's really important that if we can educate anyone, get one nugget just out of today on buying something, great bloody topic.
I think what you said just before, it's what you do after the offer. And the biggest concern I see buyers have, or the issue that arises, is they get an offer accepted and then they take 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, 4 days, a week to exchange the contract. Like I have to stress, an offer accepted is not legally binding. So I find issues come up when an offer's been accepted and then there's like this big delay between exchanging, and the owner sometimes gets a little bit worried, going, are they really there? Because sometimes the buyers will sort of say, I'm ready to go, get it accepted, especially if they're doing a little bit of a lower offer. And then the owners are like, all right, I'll accept it. I'll accept that. Okay, this is the issue. They, let's say it's 500. Buyers say they're ready to go. They offer 480, well below what's been asked, or even lower. Then the owner, who was always offers over 500, accepts this offer much lower than what they were guiding. But then the buyer doesn't exchange straight away. So then the owner goes, well, we've told everyone, the 100 groups that have come through the property, that it's offers over 500, but you've taken 480, go tell everyone else. And then you get a lot more competition. So that's, I find, happens a lot. So how it's that time from offer accepted to exchange. What is a reasonable time mark? Is it minutes? Is it hours? Is it weeks? Like what do you do?
I think that what we've all got to remember is that people are getting into a massive transaction. So you want to lock in you as a purchaser, but you don't want to lock in yourself too quick without doing your due diligence. We all get that. Yep. Do you know what I mean? I think that's really, really important. But the great thing about buying residential is you've got your cooling off period.
Yep.
Right? because you've got that cooling off period, that's going to give you 5 business days. Now you're going to lose a couple of $1,000. It's 0.25 fact. But I reckon the heartache is much greater if someone else comes in. So I think if you can, in today's world, if you can put down $1,000 or $2,000 and you know that you're not going to miss out on the property, it's a bloody cheap investment. Really, really.
So what would be, I think, and we've stressed this before you're looking for a property, you really should have an indication on your pre-approval or your finances, because realistically, if you know you can get the loan amount for the dollar transaction that you're buying, then the rest can happen pretty quickly. Like, there is minimal risk in that way, because offer accepted, exchange on a cooling off period, and then you've generally got 5 business days, which the other 2 boxes you've got to tick is your building and pest and strata report and your lawyer to check the contract. Those 3 things can generally happen within 5 days. So when I see a buyer get an offer accepted and then they're like, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, and they're not willing to exchange contracts, that's when another buyer comes along. And if they're at the same offer or the same price, the owner is going to take the offer that's ready to go. So I think buyers out there, yes, there are boxes you have to tick, but residential, guys, you got the luxury of a cooling off. Commercial, there's not that there. So I think use it. And if you've got that loan amount, jump in there, because that's why we got the angry mob photo, because that's what it feels like when a buyer's had offer accepted and another buyer comes in at the same price, sometimes even lower sometimes. Like, the power of being able to do the deal straight away for a landlord or a vendor, because you don't know what they're going to go into. Isn't that right, Mark? They could already have bought somewhere and they really need this exchanged.
Yep.
Or they're just moving on part of their life. And if you got offer accepted and it's dragging out 24 hours, a few days a week, you're really opening yourself up. So just be mindful of that. G'day, Lisa and Malberge, a bit of feedback. We can hear your voice echo.
Oh, okay. I think that's gone now. I think I sorted it all out on that. Sorry, guys. I had flat AirPods. Happens to the best of us. But I think I've got my AirPods back now and connected. Okay, so one thing that I also think is the speed's super important, but I think the ethics of the agent is also important. As much as we don't think it is, you're going to have 2 different types of animals with agents. You're going to have the guys that are going to you're almost going to have 3. You're going to have an agent that's fiercely going to protect you as a buyer. They're going to look after you, believe it or not, maybe even better than the seller, because they don't want the reputation of, in the marketplace, screwing buyers over.
Yep.
But you've got to remember you're acting for the seller, not for the buyer. Hard line to walk.
It is, and I think a lot of buyers forget that. We act for the seller.
We're getting paid by the seller.
We want to make everyone happy. We want to make everyone happy, but we're paid by the seller. Fact.
That's it. Number 2, you're going to get the agent that's just going to let the numbers do the talking, and they are there to facilitate the deal. So they will explain to the purchaser, look, in the event of another purchaser coming along, you are on the market until exchange of contracts. Just want to let you know, I'm not going to be actively promoting your acceptance figure. I'm not going to tell anyone your acceptance figure, but it's obviously on the market until you sign on the dotted line. Okay.
Do you want to give people an example how, like, we do that here? Just so if people are confused. So let's say, Mark.
Can I do 3 before I forget it?
Oh, yeah.
And 3 is the agent that's probably a little bit ruthless, going hard for their client, but willing to burn bridges all the way around to do it. Probably, and probably really, exploiting the facts. They will actually go out and tell the current buyers out there what offers are on the table and how much they have to do to beat that offer in order to secure the property. So there's 3 cats there. And we are, our fiduciary duty is to look after the interests of the seller. Okay. Yep. It's a hard world because we've also got to look after the purchaser as well. But really, the third one is aggressively in still looking after the seller. But I think that in terms of the buyer, they're ruthless.
Yeah.
These guys don't last long in the marketplace. I'm really selecting my words carefully because we've chosen such a hard topic to talk about.
Yes.
Now tell us about number 1.
Which one was 1? One was okay. So number 1 would be you've got offer accepted. It's almost like number 1s that can get you in a bit tricky. Let's say it's a good, I don't know, you don't want to say it's a client, but like a friend or whatever, but let's pretend it is. So you're sort of borderline very holding their hand. Let's just say the owner may be like, why haven't we exchanged? And you may be a little bit more on the buyer side, coming up with their excuses, calming it down, just really understanding the buyer, but putting sort of their time to make, not pushing them into it.
I like the window cleaning going on behind you, by the way.
I know.
Really, he's doing a great job.
He is.
The guy is doing a great job.
There's a way that you can sort of, you can push the buyer, but not push the buyer. So, and you've got to be a little careful with it. And sometimes an agent can be a little bit too relaxed and be like, well, they've said they're buying it. I don't need to really push into it. Well, they'll do it when they're ready. And that can be dangerous because you don't know what's happening in the background and their circumstances can change very quickly. And then 1 minute they're a buyer or lovey-dovey or your best mate, and then they're gone, and your seller, who's your client, is like, so where's my deal? And then like, oh, but that happened, and like, okay, but where's my buyer? Do you have a backup buyer? And like, nah, because I really thought he was going to buy it, and I didn't want to tell anyone else. So that's a bit of a fine line because that can leave you with no deal. I think the perfect combination is the balance between 2 and 3. Your option 2 and 3, Mark, where you've got an offer on the table, but like we're probably a bit more prone, like we've seen it a lot. Deals fall over all the time. If we had every offer from a buyer go through, we would have no stock. Like shit would be different. I reckon for every offer we get, like it's just for every offer we get, what 80% of them don't come to fruition. So you got to understand that from a buyer's point of view, that we're keeping other buyers or still contact backup buyers because 80% don't come through, I reckon. Would you agree with that, Mark? For how many offers and everything?
Absolutely. So you're forced in a way to not cut off other buyers that are interested, still keep them in the loop in the event of your offer not getting accepted. Something, and what we're talking about today is getting screwed by missing out on a property. And I think now that we've illustrated agents' responsibilities, duties, and the types of agents, I think it's important to also talk about, because you can't select your agent, you're selecting your property. So you're almost
the vendor can, but the buyer can't.
Yeah. So you may have the agro agent, the ethical agent, the softy agent, the good guy agent. You can't select those agents when you're buying a property because you've selected the property. What you can do, and this is great for people that are watching, what can they do to ensure they do not miss their property once they've got an offer accepted? What's the fastest, swiftest, smartest things you've seen people do that have actually secured the deal for them?
The best thing is to at least get paperwork in. It's a little. So you sign the contract, you do something, because guys, it's not. You can't exchange unless we have all documents like a contract and deposit. What I see really pisses owners off is when you get nothing. one way I've seen buyers really drag out that process but show the vendors they're serious is sign the contract. A signed contract without money is worth nothing. So there's no risk in doing it.
That's a good call.
Or vice versa. Pay the deposit. Pay the deposit.
Signing a contract. Yep. Another one, heavy communication.
Over communicate. Almost annoy the agent.
Annoy the agent, because then the agent can do a better job with his client by informing them where it's at.
Yeah. Or pay the deposit. Just guys, the money sits in the trust account. It's not going to the owner's account. It's not in our account. It's in a trust account. You get it back. It's very easy. So that's the best thing that I see buyers do, especially if they do need a couple more days to exchange, is do one or the other. Sign the contract. That way, when the owner goes to the agent, what have they done? And instead of the agent going, nothing. And then we'll get on the phone and call the other 200 buyers we had through the property and back that up. So when an agent goes, they've signed the contract, just waiting for the deposit. They said it'll be tomorrow, next day. Okay, good, signed contract. I know they're real. Because a lot of vendors out there can get a bit skeptical because some agents in the market, there's always that stigma going, is that buyer real? I think some agents have used some tactics the
window cleaner's doing a great job. I just want to let you know. He's doing a phenomenal job. Hey, can you do a favor for me? Sorry to take you off topic. Can you turn your light down on the right-hand side just a touch? Look like a bit of a ghosty ghost. Oh, nice. So that's interesting. So we're educating buyers on how not to miss out on the property. One, sign a contract. It's perfect. It's not committal. Sign a contract. It's not committal. Yeah.
Yes.
2, keep the agent heavily informed.
Yes.
3, pay a deposit. Because even if you pay the deposit, it's actually not, or sign that contract, it's not committing you.
Yes.
What else we got?
Sign contract, pay deposit. I think they're the 3.
I think also as a purchaser, this is what I've just thought about now, what I would do. This is a totally new one that I've never done before. I would set up a WhatsApp group as a purchaser with my real estate agent, my solicitor, my bank, and me.
Yeah.
That would be a weapon of a group, because you are then nudging everyone. You're sort of lubricating everyone every single time you talk with them.
Yep.
And they all know what you're up to on that deal. Because that it's just such a critical, if you're going to be buying a property from an offer acceptance to signing on it to actually purchased, sold, it could be a 5-day period on average.
Yep.
And that's just such a heavy correspondence period between those parties.
There can be 50 to 100 to 200 easy points of communication from all parties. And I think that's gold if you set it up, because often the agent's calling the owner to call the lawyer's calling the agent's calling the lawyer, and back and forth, just on one side then the other. To have a group with that and I think for transparency, it's good. It shows it's legit. That's really good. Obviously,
I reckon let's do that on all of our deals. And guys, if you can set that up, WhatsApp's a great method of communication. So I think we've helped everyone today. Yeah.
100%.
Anyone who's looking to buy,
100%. Invaluable.
Windows. Yeah.
And you got clean windows. Lisa said the worst thing a buyer can do if they like a property is for nothing at all. It's so true. Then call an agent after the weekend only to find the property sold. Yeah, sold for a price they would pay. Yeah, that pisses them off.
We had this one.
You see it, you don't do anything.
Yeah, we had this one on Saturday just to understand, so people can understand how short this pipe can be. We walked a buyer through at 12 o'clock on Saturday. They negotiated a price, negotiated the terms, solicitor checked the contract, did a building and pest inspection. Now it's 4:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
They signed contracts. Sellers signed contracts. They paid their deposit, organised their deposit, paid their deposit, got a 66W certificate, so there was no cooling off on the property. Even more, which was part of the terms when that everyone negotiated. 6:00 sold.
Yeah. You know what, Mark?
Yeah.
I always say to people when, do you have someone on the property? And the line I always say, move as fast as you can, regardless of everything else, because the amount of times I've gone, no, there's no one on the property. You see it. Next phone call, someone I showed 2 months ago ready to buy. Bang, sold. Or they see it that morning, bang, sold. Who cares about other people? Work as fast as you can, tick your own boxes, because what's the right answer? No, there's no one interested. And then the next phone call, someone buys it, or yes, there's someone interested. And who cares? Do your own, focus on yourself.
And our world is just so different, where you are, as an agent, you haven't sold it in 3 weeks or 5 or 6 weeks. You are hitting your head up against the wall. Within 24 hours, you got 3 people making offers and running on the property. And you're looking at your colleagues next to you going, are you serious? Really?
Yeah.
Like, how can we have no one in 28, 35, whatever days? Now, like,
I've got a shop in Narrabeen. I got a shop in Narrabeen, empty for 2.5 years, and now I have 3 people on it. And the owner's just like, what the fuck? I was like, yeah, when it rains, it pours all the time. It happens. So just as Lisa said, find a lawyer that works Saturdays. So true. The Saturday, Sunday period can be the difference of you getting that property and not getting that property. But guys, keep in mind, if you see property Saturday and exchange on a cooling off period, the weekend's like a free bonus because it's business days. So you're getting 2 days for free. So sign the contract, exchange on a cooling off, and figure the rest out. You can always extend a cooling off, guys. By the landlord, by the vendor agreeing. People don't know that. So if he isn't, and the thing is, by guys out there, it's easier to ask for 5 days, extend at the last minute. If you need a couple more days, then ask for 10 days up front. Fact.
Yep. Yeah, isn't that true? You know what? It's a classic thing that I when I'm giving advice to people when they're buying with other agents, I'm pretty much like, look, just you've got a schmoozy, right? You've got a schmoozy. I said, on day 3, if you have to delay the deal a little bit, that'll be okay. But if you know there's going to be that delay and you introduce that delay up front, you could lose the whole deal. And I don't mean to be terrible, but if I give you a working example, it's like dating, right? You don't turn around and say, these are the 3 best things about me and these are the 3 worst.
Yeah.
Right? And then they go, what, you've murdered someone? No, just joking. Now you get, they go.
There's only one person. I'm not a serial killer.
But, you tell them your 3 worst, because I just want to be honest with the situation that I'm in at the moment. When you're negotiating and you're at this critical point of getting the deal done, and getting it accepted, you've got to be like, you just got to talk the language the seller wants you to talk. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If there's a little hiccup, if there's a little catch, introduce it a little bit later in on the deal. It doesn't need to come in up front, because it can actually poison the whole deal, guys. So it's super important to not missing a property. Talk the language the vendor wants you to talk.
Perfect. Lisa, shout out to Jackson, legendary agent who referred me a listing. Where's mine, Jackson? Shout out agent who needs anyone. So great agent there. Awesome. Anything else? I think we've smashed it today, Mark.
Hopefully help people. Hopefully we help.
That's all we can do. We'll be back tomorrow morning as well, so we'll go from then.
Done.
Thank you.
See you
soon,
guys. See ya. Bye bye. Sorry,
thanks everyone for watching.
In the beginning. See ya. Bye bye.
Oh, bye.
Nice tie.